Hi, this is Lawrence Frontera, also known as a punk with toys on Instagram. If you like this video, smash the thumbs up. That's what they say. I say, if you don't like the video, give me a thumbs up, because it helps us out in our little community. Anyway, today we are going to take a look at the G.I. Joe 12-inch Storm Shadow. Now, I just got this bad boy in. It popped up on Big Bad Toys before Hasbro Pulse was able to ship it. And it was actually $5 less. So it's actually $145 along with Snake Eyes if you want to get Snake Eyes on Big Bad Toys. So if you saw my review on the Snake Eyes, then you kind of know what this is about. If you haven't, I'll put a link in the description so you can take a look at the Snake Eyes. But quickly, let's take a look at our box. And it's made to fit a 12-inch figure. So yes, this box is awesome. I mean, when you look at, you can see Storm Shadow back there, and there he's got his bow and arrow. It's just wonderful. Here we go on the side, G.I. Joe, Cobra, Storm Shadow. Tells you what scale it is, which is the 1/6 scale. For some people, I'm short, so it's not scale for me. Here's your back, showing some different poses that you can put them in. And here on the side, you're going to see Storm Shadow, G.I. Joe. If you want to keep them in the box, which again, I don't know why anyone wants to, there you have it. He opens up. You got the Cobra logo, which is different than the Snake Eyes, which has the G.I. Joe logo, but it does tell you G.I. Joe, Storm Shadow. And on the box, there's so much stuff that, and I actually don't have anything in here. Believe it or not, there's a good amount with this guy. So when I repackage everything back in here, you'll see on the Snake Eyes, I had everything kind of in there. It's hard to really see. So if you're going to keep this guy in the box, I guess do whatever you want. I don't see why. Anyway, so you can keep him in the box. The box is nice. I'm going to say you keep the box whether you open him up or not. I'm going to tell you to open him up. There is no tape on it. I believe the Snake Eyes was the same way. There's no tape on it. So you can open it up and it doesn't really matter. And any tape that's holding on any of the accessories peels off fairly simple. So anyway, again, I do keep some things in the box, but for the most part, open your toys, let them breathe. It's plastic. Plastic was made to breathe. So anyway, let's take a look at our Storm Shadow. And if you watch the beginning, I actually have a little bit longer of an beginning. I did a few more poses because he's such a big figure, you can do more poses. And I did a couple with Snake Eyes. If you see the last one, the whole reason why I originally bought these two and spent $300 was to try and do that comic cover that I put on at the end. Unfortunately, I don't think I can, because even though they pose more than even the classified 6-inch figures, it is hard to get them to cross all the way over. But you can do so many other cool poses that it's well worth it. You're also going to see the first picture with the bow and arrow. That is kind of hard to get him. I had to use a certain angle because you can only pose him in so far because you don't see any joints. He doesn't really bend all the way in. So anyway, we're going to quickly take a look at him here, and then we'll come over here. We'll compare him to Snake Eyes, but look at him. He's got his nunchucks. They actually move around. He's got his bow and arrow, which I actually did shoot an arrow off this, believe it or not. That's kind of scary because they are small. Comes with 6 arrows and 2 swords. So let's quickly take a look at this guy. I'm going to show him compared to Snake Eyes. And then you guys can kind of make a decision if you want to spend a good amount of money on a figure like this. I think it's worth it. But hey, it's just me spending your money. Alright, so here we go. Let's move Snake Eyes out of the way. Let's move Storm Shadow back here a little bit. Maybe I should have started that way. Anyway, our box. Again, I'll show you once again while I'm looking at it at the same time here. Storm Shadow. G.I. Joe Storm Shadow. Nice box. Open it up. Got your Cobra symbol. G.I. Joe. Window. Again, you won't really be able to see the figure all that well if you leave him in there because of all the plastic that surrounds him, which keeps him nice and tight. Here's your side, one side, with your Storm Shadow, Storm Shadow, G.I. Joe. Here's the back. Maybe 4 different poses that you can do, but let's be honest, you can do all kinds of poses with this guy. And the other side where you have your Cobra logo, Storm Shadow. Top just gives you Cobra, G.I. Joe, Storm Shadow. And bottom you get a barcode. Alright, so to start off, let me say these figures do not share anything, which is really nice. And if you're spending $150 on a figure, you really don't want to see retooling, which, again, we understand why they do it. I'm sure underneath there's a lot of things that are the same, but I will say right off the bat that Storm Shadow here is a little bit shorter than Snake Eyes. So right off the bat, you kind of see something that isn't, that maybe they are different underneath. So let's take a look at our Storm Shadow. And the one thing that you will notice is that there are no joints that you see here. He has this rubber that goes over, and again, the muscles look really nice. You can kind of hear. So he does bend into certain spots. I don't think some of the poses, again, his elbows go up all the way like this, but because of the rubber right there, it kind of pushes away. So that's kind of how he stands, how he sets here. You can get his elbows up. His arms up to right around there. They come down all the way. And if you do move it up, you can see the different plastic points, the joints and stuff like that. So, but this is all rubber. You got cloth here. He has 4 sets of hands. So these are really the bow and arrow hands, from what I could tell. You got your bow and arrow hands, and they are soft, so you can actually pull them out, get the bow and arrows, get the arrows into it, which is pretty nice. Then you have your sword or nunchuck hands, and these hands are different than Snake Eyes. Although they're the same poses, Snake Eyes' gloves are completely different. So again, they retooled that right there. These ones also do seem a little bit softer, to be honest, at least in my opinion. Maybe it's the color or whatever. Here's your 2 fists, so if you need them punching someone, punching each other, you got that going for you. And here are your 2 open hands. Again, same as the Snake Eyes that he came with. Again, they seem really soft. They actually seem softer than the Snake Eyes. And the way I really was able to tell that is because when you pop this off here, he actually pops off the joint up here. Where the Snake Eyes seem to really sink in here really well. And the joint actually pulled all the way off here. And the other thing is, they actually gave you 4 extra joints in case one broke. And a matter of fact, I seem to have misplaced one, so I'll have to go find that later. These do come off, and you can see that if you really wanted to, you can put a hand on him. It kind of hides the wrist joint here. So if you didn't want him to have any sleeves, you can completely remove it so he doesn't have sleeves. The one thing I will say that I am a little disappointed is that I can't find any Arashikage tattoos or logos on him, which seems kind of odd considering Snake Eyes over there does have it. Anyway, let's put his little warmer back on him. Alright, and what we're going to do is we'll throw on the sword hand. That's what's eventually going to go on there. The arrows, there's 6 different arrows, and they all do come out. Now, they all do fit, but once you try and get to the 4th one, they get a little tight. Again, another thing, and I pointed this out on the snake eyes with the swords, is that they do have flex to them, but they are straight, which is wonderful. I mean, honestly, like, that's putting a lot of detail, in my opinion, a detail into making sure that your arrow is straight. You can go see my roadblock and or breaker review of the classified figures, and the Gatling gun is completely bent. It's a slight bend. You're not really going to notice when you point it out, but the point is, it's there. He's got 2 swords, just like Snake Eyes. Again, they have bend to them, but they are straight. And they're not all one color. The other thing that I can say that I like about it is, again, 2 different swords. So they didn't chintz out on giving us like the same sword, like we've seen so many other times with other things. You know, the blade may be pretty much the same mold. Actually, one is much shinier than the other, so. And one seems a little bit more pokey. Anyway, so you do have your 2 different swords, which is nice. That they're both going to have 2 different swords. And they do only go, at least Storm Shadow, I don't remember Snake Eyes. They only go in one way. So it doesn't go this way. It actually only goes in that way. So same with this one. You have to put this one in first, or else that happens. These guys' little pouches, nothing in them. He does have a holder for his nunchucks, which again look really nice. They look like they might be a little small, but hey, you know what? I don't know anything about nunchucks, so how would I know? And then, he's got his ankles. I was actually thinking maybe they were going to have the same boots, but they do have different boots. The hand. He does have his Cobra logo, but once again, no Arashikage. And this piece is rubber, so, but it does fit nicely onto him. His head is supposed to come off, and they said to get his quiver and sleece on, that you're supposed to take his head off, but if you just lift the arm up like this thing comes off nice and easy. So no reason to actually pop the head off and worry about breaking a joint or anything. His head does move down up to a point. So, and then he has some evil looking eyes, which obviously you don't see Snake Eyes eyes, but you can see that this guy means business. All right, and then the last thing that we can take a look at here is his hood. And I'm gonna say this, I really do like the hood, because when you put the hood up, it has a wire through here. So you want the hood up, and you want to make sure that it stays up. It actually looks nice. It's opened up. If you want to put it down, because this is all cloth, you can put it down and make it just sit there, and you're never really going to notice. Here he is from the back. Again, it's not the same backpack that he had for our original Storm Shadow, but I think it looks absolutely wonderful, to be honest. I got some Velcro here. I'm not going to take his pants off. Anyway, there he is. That's our, that's a quick look at the 3-0 Storm Shadow. Look at that. But you have all your designs here. Again, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, you know, he can get a good motion here. Again, I'm assuming the bodies are probably the same between the two, but everything on the outside is different, and Snake Eyes does stand just a hair taller. So All right, let's wrap this up. All right, so there you have it. That is our 3-0 Storm Shadow. I did spend some time posing him, playing with him, just kind of moving him around. Seems kind of crazy to do that with a $150 toy, but he is well worth it, in my opinion. If you're a big Storm Shadow fan, a big Snake Eyes fan, these are well worth getting. They look wonderful. I've read a lot of people that have said, like, to get design like this, a lot of times you're paying $300 for a figure. So $150 is a really good price if that's true. And you just get so much detail. When you look at those eyes, the detail in the mask, the way the hood goes up, you can kind of bend it around. If you kind of want to make it look like, you know, honestly, when I see the hood up, I kind of think of, you know, a Jedi, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, something like that. Again, the swords, they look amazing. Again, we slide them in his hands. Probably should have done this when I had him out there, but they slide in pretty nicely, pretty easily. Not a problem. You know, you can move it to a certain point. I know people have kind of complained like this. So you can get it down to moving the wrist up and down a slight bit. But they do start to pop off. And again, I like the way this joint is. It seems to be tighter in here. Again, you can pop it off. And again, they do come with 4 extra ones. And I only have 3 there, so I'm missing 1. The Snake Eyes only comes with 2, if I remember correctly. And by looking at what I have here, I'm pretty sure that's it. So, again, you want to make them kick. Again, I don't need to tell you what you can make your action figure do. But he comes boxed, wonderful. The other thing that's really nice, like I said, you can unbox them without cracking any tape. All the plastic, it just pops off. There's nothing in there that means you have to cut it. So technically, you could repackage it, and it was like it was never taken out. But let's be honest, they're toys. I mean, it's in the name, toys. So open them up, display them, be proud of your toys. Anyway, once again, I'm rambling on, which means it's time for me to get out of here. If you're interested, there is your Storm Shadow 12-inch 3-0 figure. Behind him is Snake Eyes. I will put a link once again to the Snake Eyes review if you're interested in the description. Both these figures are available. Also, if you want, on Big Bad Toys, there is a Red Snake Eyes from Red Dead Redemption, I believe. I don't know, maybe that's a video game. I don't know, something like that. He's the exact same figure, red. I did not order him. There is a second Storm Shadow that is supposed to be more like the G.I. Joe one. He's actually more expensive. I haven't decided if I'm going to go get him. Having both of these makes me really want to, but he's close to $200, so I'm not sure if I'm going to go there yet with that one. But that one's even not available for till early next year. So anyway, I'm rambling. Time for me to go. Instagram, A Punk with Toys. Smash that thumbs up. That's what everyone says, right? That's what all the kids are saying. Give me a like, give me a follow. I appreciate it. It helps grow the channel. I really do enjoy doing reviews on my toys, and hopefully it gives someone an idea whether or not they want to run out and get it. Or by run out, I mean go on the internet and actually on your phone and order what you want. Anyway, I'm out of here. A Punk with Toys on Instagram. He'll be up there in a little bit. Have a great night.